Hello, welcome to your snack sandwich. Today we're going to take a look at mean.finance. Now mean.finance is a way to dollar cost average on chain into various assets from other assets. So for example, here we have Polygon, or we can go to Optimism. I'm just going to use Polygon for now. I'm not actually connected, but as you can see, I can use any of these whitelisted tokens. So let's say I had USDC and I wanted the dollar cost average into Ethereum. So then I can basically set this. I can say how much I would like to dollar cost average, and then how often I want to do it, and then I would connect it and stuff like that, and it would basically do it for me. Now I've read through all the docs, and it's interesting. It's pretty good. It's worth reading as always, and I did produce a flowchart. So let's go over to the flowchart, and I'll explain to you how these little things work and what makes it kind of special. Okay. So here we are on the flowchart. Dollar Bill has some USDT in this case, and he wants the dollar cost average into Ethereum or some other blue chip, whatever happens to be his bullish sentiment, right? But he doesn't want to play the whole game of buy high and sell low, right? So he wants the dollar cost average into this and frequently buy little pieces of it. Now, what does he do? He goes to the mean finance and he does those selection things that I showed you at the start of the video. So he decides like what he wants to sell, USDT, what he wants to receive, Ethereum, right? How much USDT he wants to do, and then what are the intervals, like how frequent he wants to do it. And then of course because of these two numbers, he will also have a perimeter inside his position that says like how many swaps need to be done, right? So when he does this, he will be created this NFT, right? It's a 721 ERC721 NFT, right? And it'll
show his position parameters and so forth like that. Now this service does have a swap fee of 0.6% swap fee. So it's a little bit more than some AMMs, but at least he doesn't have to do anything himself, right? So he just puts this position in here and it swaps away, right? Now, what I would consider doing is instead of using USDT, you might want to use something like Aave USDT. So then at least your assets are sitting there as a as a yield-bearing asset instead. However, it will still swap, as it won't change the frequency or the amount of swaps, but at least your assets this asset's growing in value instead of being a static US dollar stablecoin. But that's up to you. You decide what you want to do and so forth, okay? So I guess this NFT, right? Now, one of the things he can do is he can set permissions on this NFT to other people. So he can, let's say his grandma here, she's like a super rich, old phantom whale, right? And she's made big bank, right? And she wants to help him out. So sometimes she can add funds to this. So increase the amount of like capital that is being used to buy the Ethereum, right? Or maybe, she's the opposite. She got wrecked in the phantom train and now she wants to, she needs money. So sometimes she needs a little bit of money for her, knee medication or something. So maybe she can pull out some of this USDT every once in a while. He can also give her the ability to get that Ethereum once it is swapped. So every once in a while, she can come check it out and go, oh, there's some Ethereum here waiting for me, and she can pull it out, right? And then she can also maybe get the permission to terminate it. Now, he doesn't have to give all three of them. He can choose which ones he wants to give to different people and unlimited people. Now, if you consider it also the opposite, let's say he wants to take profits on this, he could use this as well. He could set Ethereum here and sell it for stablecoins, and then grandma could pull out those stablecoins by withdrawal swapped instead of remove funds, okay? So there's that. Moving on. Now, as I said, it is a transferable ERC20, ERC721 token. So he could give this entire position to his brother Boosted Bill. But when he gives him this position, all these permissions are revoked. So that's just so that, someone who buys this position from him doesn't end up with a whole bunch of permissions that they then have to pay gas to revoke. Or they don't even know exist and grandma's still siphoning off his USDT or something, right? So moving on. So
how do these swaps happen, right? These swaps, he doesn't need to pay any gas to have this swap happen frequently, which is the benefit of this protocol. He doesn't need to do it, and he doesn't have to pay for the gas. So along comes some dev, right? Some, big brain monkey. And what he will do is he will look at the position. So as you see, this is USDT versus WETH. And then maybe there's another person or another set of people that have WETH versus USDT. So we have like a coincidence of wants here. So he wants to sell and he wants to buy, basically, or vice versa, right? So the monkey will come along and compare these, right? And then perform the swap, right? So he will perform the swap based on like the differences, right? And then let's say dollar bill wanted to 300 USDT worth of stuff, and this guy only wanted 100 USDT worth of stuff done, right? So then there's a difference there, right? So this is where the monkey has to come up with the extra money, right? So he can, these swaps are not being done on another AMM. So they're not being done on Uniswap or on whatever other swap they would be done. They're being done inside this protocol. So he needs to provide the liquidity. So where can he get the liquidity to perform these swaps? Is he can have his own liquidity, so he could hold his own bag of these tokens, or he could, use a flash loan. Okay. Now he needs to make profit, right? Because he's the one who's paying the gas to perform all of the swaps within these pairs. Now he doesn't do each individual person's NFT. It's basically all the NFTs for this and all the NFTs for this position, like this route, are done in one single swap, right? So how does he get incentivized? The first way of the incentivization is currently it's set to, he gets a portion of the swap fee. So swap fee is 0.6 and he will get 0.45 of that, right? So 3/4 of that swap. Now this can change based on governance and stuff, or the team can change this. Now there's no token yet, so there's no actual DAO governance, right? Now, he can get free flash loans from the protocol. So if there's USDT somewhere else that he needs in a different pool, he could pull that out, perform this thing, and replace the USDT, right? And then there's the opportunity of arbitrage. So maybe he knows that the price oracle here for WETH is slightly different than the price oracle on Uniswap or some other AMM, and he can then, perform an arbitrage on this situation. So this is kind of how they are getting these swaps done. They're not being routed through Uniswap. They're just being routed through a coincidence of wants and a big brain monkey who wants to get this fee and maybe do some arbitrage. Okay. Now the last thing I want to mention is that if some shit token wants to come along and be part of this, it needs to be whitelisted. So the team's not very doxed. I don't know anybody in the team. It wasn't that they didn't dox themselves. They didn't even kind of show their aliases of who they are and stuff like that. Now, maybe if I went into the Discord and really dug around and asked, I might be able to find out who some of these people are. But even the GitHub is not a public, the members are not even public on GitHub. So, but anyways, what they're going to do is they're going to, watch these, because they're going to try to make sure that this token's not volatile, that there's a deep enough liquidity. And they also have to try to make sure that the token doesn't have double entry or something like this, right? So some sort of flaw in the shit token. So they can't make this system permissionless and just let any token join. They have to whitelist some of them. And they also have to base on their oracle, right? Because this WETH and USDT, they need price feeds so that, they can be compared, right? So that pretty much covers it. I hope this has been useful and interesting, and I thank you so much for watching. Goodbye.